Okay, we got a Volkswagen Golf SE. We are installing a Score RP-35 350.1D Class D amplifier, and we are hooking up the Score 4 ANL-CCA. So this is a 4-gauge kit, and then we have the high-low converter or line-out converter, you can call it. It is LC2I, made by Audio Control. This is probably the best one out of all the high-low converter that I install. So I always recommend to get one of these. It might be a little bit more expensive than everybody else, but that is one of the best. So in here we got a 4-gauge power wire, we got a fuse holder, we got the RCA jack, and we got a remote. I'm definitely going to run the remote wire just in case, and I'll let you know later. And then we got the ground, and then we got the ring terminal for hooking up the ground. What you will need extra would be a self-taper screw, two self-taper screw that you will need. So I'm gonna come up here under the driver's dash. Under the steering wheel, you'll see a grommet right here, a rubber boot, I called it. And you will need something like flathead or something, or I'm poking it through right now. I don't know what's up there yet, so I know I'm poking it through. It's out already, but I know there's a battery and everything is around. I'm gonna look. Depending on your wire, the 4-gauge, you want to cut about 1.5 feet or a foot for the front, so that way you can pull the wire out there. Cut it like that, and then you want to strip this rubber out about this much, so you can plug in this hook right there. As you can see right there, I push it on the corner, the left side corner, the right side corner, and then you stick it up. And then if you want to look, it's gonna be, whoops, it's gonna be coming up like so right there. It's kind of tricky. So when you push it, you gotta push it, trying to tilt it upward, so you can get enough. So you can so the wire, the metal, or whatever you using, the coat hanger or something, to go up. In my case, I'm stripping this, stick it in there like that, making a loop out of it, and then taped it, and then spray some W40 on there, and then pull it out. The reason I use that because it's more slippery. After I strip it out, I'm gonna cut half of this so it won't be too thick. I'll cut it half of that. Now I'm gonna tape it up and then spray the W40 and pull it right there. Now when you spray this, don't spray too much, because this will be dirty right there. It will peel this black tape out. I'm gonna spray a little bit right there, and that much right there. That's all you really, I don't want to make a squash out of that thing right there. Ooh, that's a little bit too much. Just about right there. And then just now go ahead and pull it. It's pretty easy, simple. Pull it out like that. I'm gonna run the blue wire down this way, so I can put, actually I might be able to slide it this way. And then I'm gonna pull it out about that far right there, so I can put the fuse holder right here. I don't want to put it over here. I mean, it's not going to get hot, but I want to put it right here. So I'm going to pull a little bit farther right there. Right, that much, and leave it like that. Now I'm going to pry this. Somebody pried this before. I don't know if somebody tried that before. I'm going to pry this out a little bit. Yeah, we see this part right there. sometimes you can just tuck this thing in. So let's say the power wire right there, you want to tuck it in right here. You don't have to take all these out right there. I'm also gonna run a remote wire down here because the fuse is right there, just in case the remote wire is not running right from the line out converter. You can run the fuse over here. So I'm gonna run the remote wire with it. So I'm coming to the back right there. What you want to do, you want to grab your hands, your right or left hand, whatever, grab right here and just pull it straight up. And do the same as over there. You don't want to do it from here. You want to go that side and do it. It's easier. That way you're not going to break your back. So now we got that out. So right here I'm using a flathead to pry it up. And then I should be able to pry this out and slide this out right there so I can run my power wire. What I need to do is I need to find the speaker wire right here, not right behind, right there in front of that. So we're gonna remove this out so we can get to the speaker wire for the line out converter. So now I'm gonna pry all this out. You can see it's gonna come out like that, like so. And then see the speaker wire right there. You don't have to take this whole panel off. You just take a flathead and take this it's still called a tape, but it's called another word. They call it black hole tape. That's what they call it. I'm gonna remove that. Some people might have a problem going like this. You take a knife and you don't want to do too hard. You don't want to break any other. You just kind of go easy on it and then pull the tape out. You can see right there. Be able to access to it, and then you can see the twisted one right here. And I'll tell you which one is positive and negative. Now the wire that I'm seeing, there's 3 twisted wire. Okay, you want to use a thicker one, which is I believe this is 16 gauge. So you want a blue black would be the positive side, and then white black is the negative side. Now the way I'm gonna do this, usually I use a T-tab, which is more easier, but I'm gonna show you how this gonna work. You want to strip it. I got a stripper right there. You can get this from Lowe's, but you don't have to do that if you are just doing your car only. You just take a lighter and heat this up and pull it out. Basically you stripped it right there. So here how I do mine, and you can do a different way. It's up to you. Just make sure that you got a good contact. Blue black is to the red wire. I'm using a speaker wire. I'm using a 16 gauge wire. It's thick enough. And then the white and black will be the black red. So that would be my negative side of the speaker. So I'm running the speaker and everything. I'll put it all back. I'm gonna run it all the way to the back. I reach my hand right there through over there, and then push it through here underneath there, and then pull that down a little bit and be able to come over here and then grab the wire. So we're gonna have to pull all this out right there, the amp and everything out, the box. So coming up to the back, grab this and pull it out like that. You can see that wire right there. Pulled it. You're gonna have 3 wire. You got power wire, you got speaker wire, and then you got a remote wire. Make sure you got all of them out. Now once you got everything pulled out, you want to make sure, you want to check and see where you're going to plan to mount the amp at. And in my case, I'm going to mount it right there. I'm going to put the ground right there. And some people, my ground is pretty simple. Just some people go to the big bolt right there. You see that big bolt right there? You don't want to do that. You want to get you some self-tapping screw. It's only a couple cents. If you don't have it, they probably give it to you at the hardware store. Just sand this really good right here. I'm gonna show you how to sand it, and using a wire brush. Now if you got some amp that is bigger than 4,000 or 5,000 watts and stuff, you probably need to get to the closest to the frame as possible, but in this case it's fine right there. Just sand it with the wire brush or using any flathead and just clean it really good to the bare metal like that. As you can see, the silver part. Want to make sure you use a short self tap screw, like less half an inch or something right there. You want to double it. You don't want to put one of them because it will move after a while. So I saw a lot of people just using one, and then you're not getting a good connection. What I usually doing, I usually kind of mount the amp wherever I want it at. As you can see, you look from the back, it will look like that. So you lift it up, make sure it's not too low. It's gonna hit this spot right there. Now you're gonna hook up power, ground, and remote's gonna be from here. You want a power and ground, a small wire, maybe an 18 gauge, and run it over here. I'm gonna demonstrate how to twist this wire. So you will need a drill, and you put 3 of them together. You got red, black, and blue. So what you want to do, you want to hold one side right there and this side, and you just use the drill like that. So it's gonna look like this when it's done. And now I am going to, this is an Allen that came with it. Oh, you will need a little flathead for that. I can use this, a Phillips, be fine, small Phillips. And the wire that I twist right here, I'm gonna cut it out right there so it don't, if it's got a short, it won't be shorted out, because you was using a drill earlier. So strip about that much. I'm gonna start from here. So I got the ground, remote, and the power. Twist it a little bit right there. Couple rounds, maybe 2 or 3 rounds, so it look right. And then if it's too long, you can literally take it out, but there's a ground right there on the end. So you want to take that out, remove that, push it in. If it's too long, cut it out. You don't want to see the copper that's sticking out. So now I got one of that going in. And then now you got the power next to it. Yeah, you have to make sure the wire is already sticking it inside, so you don't see all. I've seen a lot of people have this copper out, sticking out. That's not good. So, and then you got a remote output. You want it on the output, not input. Yeah. Now once I get that done, I always leave enough wire. I don't want it to be too short. I want to make sure I got this much wire. I can, if in case I had the customer want to upgrade an amp or something like that, they'd be able to do so instead of just making another wire or do what I'm doing right now again. So I'm gonna cut this about ½ an inch. Not good. This crimper tool right there, it costs about $40–50. You can get at the I know they sell a lot at they don't sell at Lowe's. I don't see it at Lowe's. I seen it at the Home Depot. So now this is my ground right there that I made earlier. I'm also making sure I got enough wire right here too. So I'm gonna kind of twist it like that, and then I use something else to make sure it looks nice. Cut it. Depend on what kind of amp you have. You want to make sure you cut about a little bit over ½ of an inch. cut it around. Got that. I'm going to test it real quick, see if I'm right. And the ground will be in the middle for this amplifier. See, it's perfectly in. You cannot see any copper. So I'm going to move the ground from here and kind of twist it. Now I'm going to have to make this thing a little bit longer, of an inch. That way I can twist it like that, and we'll be able to stick it in like that without any wire showing outside. And then now I got the remote wire. Remote wire is at the end over here. Same thing. That's weird. That's a little bit tight. You make sure you, when you tighten it, make sure it's not hitting the rubber. Make sure it hit the copper. And then now you got the power, the battery. Whoop, I did it wrong. Lucky I didn't plug anything up, right? So the blue wire is a power wire, not the ground. I got confused because I use a lot of the blue and the red. This was the blue and the black. So you want to hook the ground is black wire, is for the ground. Cut it 1/2 inch. And then same as earlier, the ground. Make sure you loosen it up all the way up. That way you can push it in. Now you can push the ground in and then tighten it. Now you always want to double check. Anytime you're doing with electrical, you want to make sure you got the right one. Do not make any mistakes. And you want to double check before you running the fuse out front. This is going to be the longest video I made so far. Usually I shortcut it, but I want to show someone that is new to this one. So now you got the power, everything run, and then you're gonna have to run the speaker wire. This is a monoblock. It's got, to be able to tell it's monoblock, it's the negative and negative are right next to each other, and then the positive right next to each other. So I'm gonna run a 16 gauge wire to the speaker, cutting about 3 feet. Make sure it's enough to move around so it don't break or cut or loose. They said the longer the better, but too long is not great either. So now I got the black would be on the ground, and then the red wire is on the positive side. Make sure they don't touch each other. And then I'll let the wire a little bit loose right now, a little bit. Now I'll be able to strip this right here about 1/2 inch. And then put the negative side on the negative at the end of each end. One end is negative, the other end is also a positive, not also. Guys, sometimes the way I shoot my video, I'm just shortcut a bunch of it, and I'm sorry for those of you that are new to this kind, so bear with me. And if you have any question, any problem, just comment below and I'll be glad to get back with you, depend on if I'm busy or not. So Yeah, as you know, I'm a full-time worker also. Here, make sure it's not loose like that. You see how it's loose? I had to go back again. Yeah, some of these amps are a little bit, they make it a little bit difficult for the see the wires all the way in, and if you put it too much, you end up tighten with the rubber part, not the copper. So now here's a speaker that I ran from the left rear speakers. I'm gonna cut it right there. I got the red as positive, and then the red black is negative. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put on the left side. All you need is one side, you don't have to do both. So you wanna put the positive at the end, the left. I'm just gonna do the left. People saying that you have to do both sides. You don't have to. I experienced many of them and they sound the same. And if it sounds different, I will let you know. So now I'm done with all of these. I'm just gonna have to run a short RCA jack to the from the bass output from here to the bass input right here. As I was saying, it would be bass output right there and the bass input right there. 1.5 feet is great for that, of the jacks. Now I'm here at the front. So what I'm doing right now, I'm going to strip the power wire that I ran through the drywall firewall earlier. I'm going to put the rubber in, put that, snug it in really good, make sure ain't nothing really sticking out. I mean, if it is, you're going to put this back in anyway, but try not to. Twist it a little bit, put it in. And on this Volkswagen, as you can see, the positive is on the front of the car. So now I'm twisting this. Depend on what kind of fuse holder you buying. Now some fuse holder you don't have to do what I'm doing right now, and with this one you have to. So I'm gonna put it up, take it out. Don't know what size you be using, so a lot of time you just snug it in. It's easy. This one you're gonna have to take the whole thing out and twist it down. Tighten it. Usually I finish all of these first, then I hook it up over here. So now I'm taking the other side out, making sure you can be able to see this. And different fuse holder, different company make a different kind of fuse holder. So this is probably, I don't like this type. This taking too long for us to work on. So now I need the number. This one is 916. So make sure it's really tight. You don't want it to loose, because your connection would be bad. You wouldn't want to know why you're not getting enough power to the amp. So once I got that tightened up right there, I put the cover back. This cover, they come loose sometimes. I'm really bad at tents, so I didn't go to school. I went to school, college, and high school and middle school, but I didn't start from kindergarten, so I'm not good with tents. Cause in our culture we don't use tents. If we say yesterday I ate food. The way we said in our language, yesterday I eat food. I mean, the yesterday part kind of tell you it's the past tense already. So that's why we don't use it. And most foreigners, depending on where they from, they are not good at tense. I know I'm not. So now we got number 10 back to here. We got number 10. We're gonna lose it. Make sure you're not touching any ground. This is not really ground, but make sure you're not. So I'm gonna loosen it. Push it to the passenger side to lose it, because lefty loosey. And then a lot of time, I don't take the whole thing out. What I do, I cut the end of this, making like a fork, like so. So it's got holes now, and then I would put it in like that. Oh, you're gonna feel a spark a bit, and then close it. Oh, now you wanna come back right there. Tighten it. Yeah, this gonna be a long video that I made so far, but it's kind of gonna help a lot of people out there how to do basic stuff. I mean, I'm really literally going all the basic I can. Kind of twist it down a little bit. Now, a lot of time, if they got everything from me, I use a grommet. If anything's hot, I use a grommet. Is that wire loom? It's called wire loom. Wire loom will look like so right here. I'll show you. This is wire loom. Actually, I'm gonna show you. To put the one right there. That way it kind of look right. So what you do, kind of measure right there. See how much you need. Cut it. And then snug it in like this. Open the front loop like so. Like that. See? It look right, right? Put another one right there and just push it out to cover that. That way it look like professional install. A lot of people don't care, but depends. But a lot of people just say, oh, it's okay. I mean, it is okay, but if you got heat, you want to put like that. You want to make sure you tie this two of them at least, so it don't come all out. I'll put another one right there. There we go. And make sure nothing's sticking out from here. And we are done from here, so let's check it out. So before I let the customer leave, I want to make sure I come to sound, and you want to press volume. You want to speed dependable volume increase. Sometime when you drive, it will make noise. So you want to turn it all the way down, not up. See, that's 0 right there. You want to leave at 0 like that. You don't want to be sticking out halfway or anything like that. And the system sounds great, and I'll show you what it looks like.